So it's not just calling on people. Sorry, my panel, I think I love the way you have this thing, but just invest to private sector to come in and all that. If you are now saying, let's kind of sell more shares, the people who are now, they're like those of us who are practical on the ground, before you know, they say this thing is another company that is handling it, another private sector that is handling it. Before you know, the people that were working in their company, the power distribution, 200 staff are sacked, 20 staff or 100 staff are sacked. You see a new group of people, and before you know them, they are at your door. So we should be able to sit up and then redo something.
Yes. We are due to start taking calls, but Engineer Igurube, I will request you briefly to have, let me have your comments. There are Nigerians who argue that instead of the greed, that is a greed with GREED to collapse, it is a power grid that is collapsing. They are of the opinion that if the national greed of Nigerians, which is the GREED, collapses, it will not affect the power collapse. How effective are our existing policies in promoting?
The thing I wanted to let me just chip in before you now directed the in charge of distribution, and we're having the issues that we have on ground, and I want to put in the hand of the private sector that the market is still highly monopolized. It looks as if it's still in the hands of the government. Because talking about JED, for instance, all the power that you see in Benue, Jos, and Nasarawa, I think, which other state? Benue and Jos?
Benue, Gombe, Bauchi, Plateau.
So it's being controlled by JED. And it is whatever JED decides. You don't have option. So when you talk about private sector coming in, and have their own independent power generation, distribution, you have alternative. When you have alternative, people will learn how to treat you well. Because if they do anyhow, you leave them. You understand? In Jos, I know Jos have NESCO, which is an alternative power supply. And I know I have been to Jos several times where in a house, the same house you have JED, you have NESCO. You switch to whichever one you want. If JED is not treating you fine, you abandon them and patronize NESCO. And I saw many areas that NESCO have their own, not going to solve I think it will improve the system that we have on ground.
Don't worry, I will engage Max Woody outside this platform so that I will allay his fears. He's a big business mogul. I want him to come in.
So that established, let me have your thoughts basically on how effective existing policies addressing our power challenges in the country.
Just like my co-panelist just said, there's a bill that has been passed by federal government empowering each state or even individual to invest in the area of power sector. We know the investment in energy is a huge investment. If you don't have the money and you don't have the courage, it might be difficult for you to dive into it. But I want to bet you that if people can come as a group or cluster or a cooperative, just like you have suggested, and improve this area, it will go a long way. Now, just for instance, you have a power generation and distribution supplying most part of Benue State, and there is a national grid collapse. I don't think so many people will shout, because if there is a grid collapse, you shift to the alternatives, and you can manage your businesses even at that period of time. And by so doing, you will see that there's going to be reduction in the way people depend on this national grid, and it's going to help a lot of things.
Okay, we hope we get there, dear listener. The number through which you can call is 0814-335-9292. 0814-335-9292. We'll start taking your calls, but that will be after this short breather. Do stay with us kindly. Thank you very much for staying with us, dear listener, and welcome back from that short break. Once you connect with us, we would like to know your full name and where you are calling from. Then you make your submission. Please keep it very brief. Good morning and welcome to Perspectives.
Yes, good morning, Nathaniel.
Thank you for joining us.
My full name is Jonah Benjamin, calling from Nakagwe, West Local Government.
Jonah who?
Benjamin, calling from Nakagwe, West Local Government.
Okay, thank you, Jonah Benjamin.
Yes,
by the way, how is Naka this morning?
We thank God, all is well.
Very well.
Yes, I greet the girls in the studio over there.
Thank you.
Yes, my problem is that for here in Naka, yes, good thing is like in 2 days, we did not have light here. This our transformer is not working enough, especially the one that going to our load is not working. So I'm calling on federal government that to please help us and do something about that, so other people will be enjoyed. If either the person that who is capable to invest money in that, you please help us doing that, so that all will benefit. Thank you so much.
Jonah Benjamin, thank you, Benjamin. Thank you, Jonah. All right. Once you connect with us, we are discussing frequent collapse of national grid and how it affects the economic activities, of course, challenges in the power sector in general. Let's get to hear from you, and that's the subject matter we are discussing. Good morning. 0814-335-9292. You are on, but we can barely hear you. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you for joining us on Perspectives.
Yes, this is Michael calling from behind Our Lady Church, Naka Road.
Michael who?
Michael Atswan calling from behind Our Lady Church, Naka Road.
Michael Atswa or Atswan?
Atswan.
Yes. Okay, thank you, Michael. Go ahead, please.
JTD is a very precarious issue because, in fact, presently we have a transformer behind Naka Road here that has been spoiled for over quite some months, since August. We reported the issue to NEPA. They came, removed the transformer, and on getting to their head office, they said they have to transfer the transformer to Jos before it to be sorted out. And we needed to pay. We were even taxed to pay some certain amount of money for them to repair it. Now my question is, we've been paying NEPA bills. We pay NEPA bill. If the transformer is spoiled, we still pay for it. And then if the transformer is damaged, we still buy for it. So what's the essence of collecting this NEPA bill if the company cannot fix this transformer? As I'm talking to you now, we don't have light for over 3 months. I own a business outlet out there. For 3 months now, I've not been able to open my business because my business depends on light. So the government need to weigh into this situation because it's really affecting us, affecting the environment completely, affecting the whole business, affecting the economy of Benin State completely. It's something the government needs to look into.
All right.
And JED needs to look into.
Michael, thank you. We share in your plight. Thank you very much for calling attention to that. We hope the authorities are listening. Of course, when we are back, the GCM man will help us understand the extent to which they are working in collaboration to address some of these challenges. Good morning and welcome to Perspectives.
Good morning, Mr. Nathaniel.
Thank you.
My name is...
Now associated with Naka. Is there something about Naka this morning on this program? Okay. Oyibo, go ahead, please. Don't mind me.
We face enough victims, challenges of NEPA in this area.
Yes.
Well, my first question is that now the community buy transformer, repair transformer. So what are we benefiting from the company? It will tell you his own decision. When our transformer got spoiled here, say the people must come from Jos because we contribute money and bought transformer ourselves here. 2 transformers at that Sekawe village. So we have been taking care of the transformer till now. Small time, somebody can say we are not entitled to have direct contact from the feeder, that we are not supposed to control our transformer. And we say we don't need NEPA staff there. It becomes a long process for us here. And secondly, any little problem concerning the transformer, they don't want to respond to us. So please, let's know where we are. And at the same time, when we're small, give free, Belda or whatever, they give us free transformer, free everything, and we enjoy. So what is happening now? Thank you, Mr. Nathaniel.
Okay, Oyibwako, thank you. Thank you very much for calling in on the program. It does appear it may be the same community Michael Atswam called in earlier from same Naka Road. All the same. Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you for calling in on Perspectives.
Yes, good morning, my guest.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. You see, this issue of light.
May I know your name? May we know your name and where you're calling from?
Sorry, my name is Timothy Dogo. I'm calling behind a gate production.
All right.
I don't have light. So, another thing is that in my community, where a former governor of the state, Right Honorable Gabriel Sisson, brought a light there, where my people were crying for light since 1960.
And which community is this? Maybe if you want to be specific.
Uba Anyin Yoza.
Okay, Timothy, go ahead. You are on. Oh, we lost connection with Timothy already. Quite unfortunate. Anyway, the line is still available if you are able to get back to power generation and distribution with regards to National Grid. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Hello. Good morning.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us on Perspectives. Welcome.
Good morning, sir. This is Lovely.
Okay, Loveline. Loveline who?
Hello.
Loveline, you are on. Speak to us. I'm interested. We are interested in knowing your full name.
I'm Lovely Bunde.
Okay, Loveline Bunde.
Bunde Pun.
Okay.
Calling from Lodi.
Thank you. Go ahead, Loveline Bunde Pun. Hello, Bunde Pun, are you there? Okay, I'm sorry, Loveline. We may have to disconnect with you. You are on, but it does appear maybe it's a glitch with your network. You are not able to speak up. The line is still open. Try to call back. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Welcome to Perspectives.
Yes, my name is Mike Gadi. Hello?
Yes, yeah. Mike Gadi, you know you are not a first-time caller on this program. We always wait for you to call your name and where you are calling from. So I know. Go ahead, please.
Okay.
What's your food?
I want to appreciate the guests in the studio. They are really doing well to do questions and answers.
Yeah.
Yes. My question is, we have the transformers on ground. So who is supposed to maintain the transformers? When we have issues of transformer issue, they will have to ask the community to donate money. So that's the first question. And then secondly, why is it that when we have other issues like accidents where poles fall, they don't come to fix it? It is us again in the community that have to donate money to fix this thing. So what is the essence of paying our bills? Just a question.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Mike, thank you for calling in. Thank you very much. Okay, once you connect with us, as a matter of rule, we are interested in knowing your full name and where you are calling from. That's thank you for joining us on Perspectives.
I am Comrade Achimi Oguche, calling from Modern Market Road.
Good to have you, Achimi Oguche.
Thank you, and the panelists.
Okay.
Actually, the problem of NEPA is systemic. We are facing a lot of challenges over the national grid collapse. I expect the government to fire those in charge. Because last time when NLC shut down the national collapse, the national grid, they are charging them of treasoning and they are charging them of treasoning and betraying the government. Coming to the NEPA activities and their operations, as I speak to you now, for the past 2 months in Modern Market Road, there was no light. And our transformer was taken last week, Wednesday. And before that was done, the community has to pay money. As we are speaking now, we don't know when the transformer will be returned and fixed. So I expect the government to reverse this privatization. Take for instance, since Nitel was privatized, no service providers like MTN, Glo, Etisalat have called their customers to come and fix their marks when it has problem.
Right.
But if there is problem with transformer, the NOPA officials will tell you they don't have money, they don't have impress, so they don't have anything to do. But after going all through all these pains, at the end of the day, they will give you bill. Outrageous bill for that matter.
Okay.
And when you talk, they say they will disconnect you. So it is high time we change the status quo.
All right.
Let these people will show a way out. If that will bring stable light in Nigeria.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Achimi Joy. We hope that, anyway, Achimi is asking that you, by NEPA here, Nigerians generally, when you talk about power, Nigerians understand issues about power to just be about NEPA, as it were in the old. So UTCM are not insulated. I think the reference to NEPA here captures TCN and every other actor in the power sector. Good morning and welcome to Perspectives.
Morning once again. It's Timothy Dogo calling back. It was a network.
Okay, we are glad to have you join us back, Timothy.
So, as I was saying, from Ugba to Anyin to Iyoza, straight to Kente. Kente is in Taraba State. So, when a former governor bring this light, so there was a time I travel home back. I discovered they vandalized this light, even through the poles. They break the poles and remove the rod inside. I said, brother, what is happening? Before they bring this light, there was a committee of this light. Why did they allow boys to call this light? They say it was a fighting between another community. I said, what I want to say is that this light is for every Nigerian. Even people come from foreign investors. People come from different countries with their companies. They're enjoying it. So you can't say somebody is using light, then you will cut the light because you are having a problem with such a person. So what Oga in the studio was saying, I also support him by to people.
Okay, Timothy, thank you. I think you have made your point. We appreciate you for calling in. Thank you very much.
Security.
Yeah. Timothy, those of you that are doing vandalism, Timothy is cautioning against it so that power infrastructure will be available to serve communities. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Welcome to Perspectives.
Thank you. This is Bello Musa calling from North Bank.
Bello Musa, could you speak up? You sound inaudible. We want to hear you well.
This is Bello Musa calling from North Bank.
Very well. Go ahead, Bello Musa.
Thank you. My problem with this NEPA is among in our area here. When they say if they bring bills, some of the areas, some of the houses didn't pay. They will go direct to the transformer and disconnect the whole. Those that pay and those that doesn't pay. They say most of them they are not responding to their bill. So I don't know the problem. If someone is paying and the other people are not paying, then you disconnect the whole transformer. And the other people, including to suffer the same issue. That is a problem with them, especially in this North Bank.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bello Musa, thank you. Thank you very much. The handling of this infrastructure that are serving communities, Bello Musa have a concern with how it is done in North Bank. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Nat.
Welcome to Perspectives.
Yeah, I am Ungu Emmanuel Gwaza, calling from Kanshio.
Good to have you, Emmanuel.
Mr. Nat, it is unfortunate we find ourselves where we are. The privatization was a reason for us to have a better service. But with the present jet, I don't think we ever get it right. Why do I say so? The last week we heard on the radio that Benue State House Standing Committee on Power interacted with the man in charge of Benue. This man denied they don't collect money for installation. They don't even allow their customers to buy poles or transformers.
Well, Emmanuel,
sir?
That may, yes, we are our discussion. Hello.
I am in the background.
No, wait. Let me make it clear to you. We are not dwelling on any personality on this program. We are just discussing the issue in general sense. So
he's in charge. So if anything good comes to your station, credit will go. I am not going personal, sir.
Very well. So stay on the issues.
Our problem, if you observe, the members, those jets, they don't have any problem at all. They will tell you their problem is attack. So as you are in a great radio, who have ever come to attack you there? You are located within a community. Who have ever come to attack you? So people will see you and attack you. Have they attacked the members?
No, let's move away from Agate Radio. Let's stay on the power issues. Yeah, I think you should speak to the power issues. Leave out.
So they have refused to be realistic. In my community presently today, we did not have. We have a broken down transformer, just like those from Naka behind Naka Road Court. They requested we should take it to their head office in Makurdi. When it was taken there, they said we should pay a certain amount of money for transportation. A member of the community was willing to provide his vehicle with all that is needed to convert to convey this transformer to Jos to fix. They refused. They insisted we should tax ourselves. We tax ourselves, and it has been 3 months. If you go, they will refer you to Jos. The man denied nothing of such as happened. So if you don't have a problem, how will solution be provided?
All right. Ongo Emmanuel, thank you. Thank you for calling in. Nigerians seem to, or Benue people, we should say, have a problem with how management of power infrastructure is done. But when we come back to the discussions, we allow you the opportunity to say your mind on that. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, you are on. Speak to us.
Nathaniel, this is Donovan James from Apa, local government of Benue State.
Welcome, James.
Yes, thank you so much for this program. By regards to the people with you in the studio. Yes, we have a problem here as NEPA was being privatized and have power holding now. It's a serious problem. Because the last time I checked, though I stand to be corrected, that this power sector is the only area that you are meant to pay for what you have not controlled.
Oh, we lost connection with you, James. Quite unfortunate. 0814-335-9292. The SMS line is 0912-699-9404. Good morning and welcome to Perspectives.
Good morning, sir. My name is Emmanuel Chinoso, calling from North Bank.
Thank you for joining us, Chinoso.
The issue I want to table is still based on power. This NEPA, this power supply, I don't know what they are doing, because most of us have businesses that needs light. Okay, look, from now, as I'm talking to you now, from this new bridge down to SRS Junction, they have light throughout. They will have light throughout the day. We from that SRS up now to federal locals now, they will only give us light 12 a.m. What do we need that light at that point to do? This light, we need it daytime to do our business. And that is why when we have this light and when they are coming for bills, we will not have that mind. We will not be arguing with them. At least then we'll be paying our bills. We don't know what the problem is right now. Since getting to 3 weeks now, or 2 weeks if I'm not mistaken, they only give us this side light 12 a.m. When people are asleep, what are we going to use the light to do at that time? Please, they should just look into this, and if there's something they could work out or correct something, for us to be having this like daytime, so that we could be doing our businesses too will be flowing. Thank you.
So thank you very much.
Great observation.
Yes.
Great observation.
We hope that you improve on the supply power when people can make use of it for economic activities. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, Nathaniel.
Thank you for joining us on Perspectives.
This is Zungwen John calling from North Bank.
Okay. Go ahead, Zungwen.
The caller from North Bank just made a way for me. I would have felt robbed if my call didn't go through. I've been trying earlier. Okay, good morning to the guests in the studio.
So maybe we should make you an association of
your discussants in the studio. They are really spoken like well to the issue, and I'm really happy hearing them talk. And I want to stand on that adage that information is power. Okay, look at my own community here. We have not had light now for well over 2 years. So the transformer was vandalized.
So which community is this in North Bank, Zungwen?
It's Nyandanta village. It covers both Nyandanta and Akawe Tokula College of the Polytechnic.
Okay.
And towards Union Agri.
Yes.
Yes, we have not had light here for over 2 years because it was vandalized. And when they did that, I don't want to go into the details, but I'm happy about one thing that happened. In this place now, some people now installed some solar that they charge our phones for us. If you go to other places, they charge phones for 200, not less than 200, some 300. But here, the highest charger is 100 naira. And where I went and charged my phone is 50 naira. I was just supporting one of the discussants who talked about alternative sources of power. It will even make it cheaper. Because at least you have solar or hydropower or wind or any other stuff. And then you can switch in between. So that some people will not just monopolize the whole issue and, okay, something has spoiled, tell us what we will do. You are not being clear on, and it makes it appear as if it's a fishy deal or something. So I just want to appreciate their discussion and their information, and Agate Radio as well.
Thank you
for providing the platform. Thank you.
We appreciate you, Zungwen John. Thank you. And we hope 2 years going, you are no power supply, no public power usage. We hope the authorities should address that so that your community will enjoy power supply. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Welcome to Perspectives.
Yeah, my name is Kayo Telanga. I'm calling you from Batiele.
Good to have you join us, Kayo Telanga. Go ahead. Batiele is in Boko, local government.
Yeah, thank you.
Very well.
I want to appreciate you for this room that Agate FM has created for us to be heard our voices.
Thank you.
And I also thank God that God should give you people strength to continue like this.
Amen.
And my own take on this impressed me well. Are you hearing?
Yes, you are on, Telanga. We're listening to you.
So, one of them said that if you are meant to be head of something, do it well. Some people, they will sit there and criticize the president or governor, but they will forget what they are doing there. Some people, they are into office and doing as they want to do after criticizing the president that he's not doing well. If we come for this issue now, we in Bachele here, our transformer spoil. It stay up to 3 months if I'm not mistaken. It was General Tonkra that helped us. Today we think like so. But before that transformer come, some of us, some people pay money, but we are paying NEPA bills. And in Nigeria here, we know them as NEPA, so nothing that will change them. If they like, let them bring power or NEPA, everything they want, but we know them as NEPA. So we keep calling them as NEPA. So let them improve. Because apart from money, this is the thing that will make us calm our mind down. If you have one fan or AC that will calm your mind, that will cool your mind, you will sit in your room. And if you have Apple and whatever you might take. Thank you.
Telanga, thank you very much. Thank you. You see how essential power is to Nigerians. Like Telanga pointed out, apart from money, power. Okay, you are on, but we can barely hear you. I think we'll pause here momentarily. And I will begin with you, Engineer Obo. You listen to the callers. You are of the transmission company of Nigeria. the distribution companies are there, but you all are collaborators in the power sector. To what extent are you collaborating to address challenges of handling proper power infrastructure, managing it in a way that you don't have the consumers begrudge you, as you listen to several reactions from the people?
All right, thank you very much. I must say that we've had I'm touched, even though, like I said before, I cannot stand in for the distribution company. But I'm touched by this, that so many people are out of supply. The question coming in very frequently is about, we have a breakdown of transformer. Is it our responsibility? We have contributed money and all that. Let me quickly address that. As far as I know, and as far as the regulatory body has let us know, is that it is not the responsibility of any customer to contribute money to replace an item that has to do with power infrastructure or to maintain. That is a very good knowledge that everybody knows. But most times why people can't wait is because if you wait, you may wait for a long time, which of course is not supposed to be. The power or the utility companies are the ones responsible to undertake all this. And there are channels of making these complaints to them. You go to their office. I'm sure some people have gone. If it can't be handled, there is what we call NEC forum. If it can't be handled, the NEC itself, which is the regulator, will come in and all that. Even though it might be like cumbersome or take a lot of time. But it's good we follow that. I believe they will sit up to do what is needful. Now, coming to your question, sir, changing views. We have been advising ourselves. What is not your responsibility is not your responsibility. I can't go beyond the boundary as somebody who works in TCN to go fix what is outside my boundary. Yeah, but of course, I can assure you that we have been collaborating. Recently, I think the management of JED and also been interacting more often and been trying to see how issues like those ones can be sorted out. We actually apologize to the consumers who are affected by these breakdowns here and there, but I believe that something has to be done. And I want to encourage you, those of you in the media also, to engage all around. If we had a representative from there, he might speak better for these issues. For instance, all those accusations that are being labeled now, I can't speak for them because I don't know about them. But of course, I am sure they are not telling lies. But it needs to be put in perspective.
Now, put yourself in the position of a consumer who is also, like someone will say, you are in Nigeria. Are you insulated from what the other callers are experiencing with regards to power infrastructure beyond?
Even the statistics has already not allowed me to be insulated. 11 people called and they all complain. I complain once in a while too when it affects me. I don't live in an island. So the services are actually poor and we need to improve until we tell ourselves the truth and we own up and we do better.
All right. One of the callers actually sought to know whether in the entire country, I think that was Oyibwako,
yes,
do we have just one national grid serving the entire country? Let's sensitize
generally
our call on this.
Largely, we have one grid, one national grid. But with some island, we have about 3 islands. What I mean by island is that there are some group of clusters of generating companies that are grouped in one way. So that's why we used to say, when you talk about system collapse, it's not everywhere in the country that actually the grid goes. So those ones will now start up the other section if there is a disturbance. So largely we have one, but some little islands. And of course, as the market is developing, there's going to be what we call regional grid. We are going to operate regional grids. We are going to operate mini and micro grids. That will make it more robust so that, and they are going to be implemented very soon, to have multiple grids so that we don't have this national collapse all the time.
Okay, Mr. Ayiyenge, let me have your thoughts of what you make of the submissions of the various callers, those who called in on the program. You listened to them.
Really, I feel their pains, and it's exactly what is happening. Somebody running a barbing salon may charge you 500 naira for a haircut. But if he goes to buy fuel to run the plant, he may be charging you 1,500. So the economic effect is on both of you, the people who are the consumers and the people who are providing the services. So I think there's a difference between generation, transmission, and distribution, as we have said. The generation, you have about 2 or 3 places that you have having there, but then the transmission is through the power lines. And then he was mentioning discourse distribution, where many of the people are now complaining. I think this program, we should continue with it. By next time, you invite more of these people in the distribution so that they can listen to some of these problems and put them together so that we chart a way forward. Because there's a problem on ground. How do we move away from there? Because we cannot continue to, cause a flat tire. How do we get out of this mess that we found ourselves in? And it is really a serious effect. The private sector is having every other person. There are people in the hospitals now that are relying on power to even live. Sometimes you go, dialysis, or you go on other things, and if there's no power there, how do you expect a human being? Many people are dying even as a result of this power thing. And there's so much. You tell people, bring money, contribute. Their hard-earned money, instead of using it for other things, they now go and contribute so as to be able to have a transformer, so as to be able to maintain. And my brother has just said utility companies have to maintain and replace the equipment. But the reverse is the case, because you want this power in the next 1 hour. And if you rely on them in the next 3 hours or 1 year, 1 month, you don't have. So what's the effect? It then means there is no check and balance. The runners, the managers of this power sector are not really being, what word will I use, monitored. They should sit up, and the whole thing looks like a game. You are in a place, so it is your time to make money, or you just go and say, okay, bring money. And even if you know that I should be provided a meter, I have to go and pay ₦1 million or more to get a big meter. It doesn't make sense. So I find what the callers have said, if you have time and if there's an outer reach, you'll see more people complaining. And it's high time. I appreciate your radio. This thing should be aired out, and people, the management and the people in concern, even the regulatory bodies, it's a matter of policy. The alternatives are very good. Maybe they will make us to sit up. But then, if you have a way of doing things, do it well.
All right. If you have a way of doing things, do it well. We hope TCN and the discourse and everyone involved in the power sector will do what they should do very well. And this leads me to you, Engineer Egurube. What policy reforms are needed to enhance the power sector?
All right, thank you very much. Just like my fellow panelists have said, I feel the pains of an average Nigerians. And most of us sitting here, we all suffer the issue that we are discussing here today. Talking about policy, I think this policy that gave birth to this privatization in the first place needs to be reviewed. I don't know the details, but I think government have to revisit that policy. Now we are discussing national grid collapse. I cannot tell you that most of our discussions here were centered on issues that have to do directly with national grid collapse. And talking about those callers that just called in, none of them were concerned with national grid collapse. Because you can see that the issue of national grid collapse is very minute compared to what we face in the hand of the discourse. So the challenge of an average Nigerian today is not even the national grid collapse. It's the problem that we face every day with discourse. So I think government should revisit the policy that gave birth to this privatization. And NEC has to do more by checking the activities of these companies. Now, there are so many laws, there are so many rights of consumers that they will tell you that you have the right to this, you have the right to that, you have the right. We all know how things are done in this country. If, for instance, in my house, Discos just came in and disconnect me for one reason or the other, do I have the money to go and take lawyer, go and report here and there? No, more than 90% of Nigerians, they do not have the means to pursue their legal right. In that dimension. So I want to beg the government of Nigeria to please consider the plight of an average Nigerians, to revisit the activities or the policies that these discos are operating upon.
All right.
It's really very bad.
Sorry, but in addition to that,
just a moment, I'll be with you shortly. Nigerians are the subject matter of renewable energy has been on. What alternative sources of energy, renewable, that can be tapped into? Since we're having this consistent collapse of national grid, maybe to ensure power stability.
Talking about renewable energy in Benue here, for instance, look at Uniagric. Uniagric is running on solar, and since they installed that solar for Uniagric, you cannot have any issue of power outage or power crisis in Uniagric, and it's done by federal government. Coming to renewable energy, it's a very reliable source of energy, but it's also very expensive. In a household, for instance, you want to install solar that can power just your, maybe not talking about AC or fridge now, just your bulbs, your TV and all of that, needing 2 batteries and maybe 24 volt, whatever inverter, it will cost you $1 million plus. And look at, and one battery, for instance, a good battery, inverter battery, will cost you about 500,000 naira plus. So it's actually very expensive. So how many micro business owners can afford that kind of alternative source of energy? But if an individual can invest in a large scale and begin to sell it to business owners, and you pay as you use, just like with Petronas JED or Discos, I think it will help. But before that is done, we're beckoning on the federal government to please wage into the activities of these discos. I don't know, from the onset, people complain, I don't know the details, but people complain that even when this privatization was going on, the processes by which these properties were privatized, it's not even, the best. Because if you check the hands of most of those people that this thing falls into, they were the people ruling the government as at that time. So you can hardly see transparency even in the process. And that is what gave birth to the challenges that we are having even at today. And like I said earlier, it has been privatized, but it's as good as if it's government that is still ruling it, because the whole of a state, 2-3 states, is being ruled, is being operated by one company. There's no monopoly. It's highly monopolized.
All right. Okay. Let's wrap up. Thank you.
Yes.
Hello. Good morning.
Yes,
Thank you for holding on.
Back again on the line.
Okay, James, speak briefly now.
I was trying to say, the power sector is the only sector that made people to pay for what they have not consumed. Most of the times they talk of this estimated billing, and that is the reason why they are careless when their transformers are broken down, and when it's whatever that is the people that made the people not to have light, they are careless about it, and it's unfortunate. You see that they have to do something about it. They have to give people the right billing so that you will pay for what you are being consumed. That they will not come and say you pay whatever they like, and then when there is no light for a month, still you have to pay for that which you did not consume. It's unfortunate. something has to be done about that.
Thank you, James.
If they are to pay and repair their products, they will be quick to repair them whenever they are broken down.
All right.
Thank you.
James, thank you very much. Okay. They're still on the same issue. And we are gradually drawing to a point where we'll conclude. Of course, that will be the last call we will take, the one from Dondove. But Ms. Aiyenge, you were itching to say something, and in addition to whatever you were itching to say, I will ask you to speak on how the frequent power outages affect household incomes and the cost of living of people in general, beyond the point of business and other manufacturing sector aspects.
Thank you very much. That has actually been discussed here, but most of the callers and what is happening today, like my last discussant said, everything just transformer, just. And I think I should be quick to call on the revisit of the policy. If we divide this, make Makurdi region a headquarter of its own to cover with another company, that may be another alternative, Alternative is not just only solar and other renewable energy. But if JET is covering about 5 states, bring in other investors to handle maybe 1 or 2 states, redistribute this, and you will find out that there will be some kind of improvement. Because if the small area that they may have to cover, they will be able to be more effective and be pragmatic in the management. You will also agree with me in that question. You find out that in the household, like I said, let's go in so that they will now maintain the health challenges of the people. You go to a lab today, all the equipments in the lab need the power to be able to test all the internal organs and every other thing that the people. But most of the power, the hospitals and the clinics and labs, they lack these equipments. They lack this power. And at the end of the day, if they will have to now provide their own source of power, you will find out that they are going to charge an individual who is going there to do any test or any health problem higher. And at the same time, it means that the cost of your health is going to be higher. It has actually affected the individual both ways. Then the household in the houses. Can you imagine, if a housewife happens to go into the market, into a farm, and buy a lot of ingredients and all that, if she grinds the pepper and tomato, she'll be able to save them. She'll be able to preserve them for 1 to 3 weeks. So to be able to use economically in that house, it is going to be cheaper for them to run the house. But for lack of power, they cannot buy a large number of, household things that they used to need. They need to cook. Maybe you go and buy tomato and pepper, 10,000. You use it for 2-3 days and all that. But if you use that and they preserve, so there's a big economic effect and even the effect or personal effect on the household, the individuals, and some people are diabetic. Some people may be hot. They will need power to at least, like my friend was saying, you bring light in the morning. They will need to at least have these things to sleep, to take care of the house. All right. But then there's a lot of problem there in the distribution. Well, if we now that there's already a policy on ground, many other people can now generate power. But then in the distribution also, like I said, it should be reduced. Plateau, you have your own manager that is going to run. Benue is on, Bauchi and so on. Then the issue of a transformer get caught spoiling in Makurdi or in any other part of the states, then it has to be moved to Jos for repairs. At the same time, they should be able to, bring in people who will be able to manage and serve this. Because there must be somebody in Makurdi or Boko or Tupo that should know how to, maintain a transformer, not just to be taken there. These are not the best of management principles.
Okay, a few messages and then we'll draw concluding thoughts. This one says the frequent collapse in our national grid is leading to epileptic power supply, which government should address by investing more for its protection to ensure steady supply of light to boost economic activities. Good morning, panelists. Isaac Utsua from Anchiha say Jimmy in Gomaloka Gom. Isaac, thank you for your message. This one says, it's bad that these challenges are many and the training JD's agent received are also bad. Here in Agasha, we don't have a factory, but hardly see light. But bees have been paid frequently. Imagine a single house paying 60K monthly without helping to repair any damage for us. For what? Okay. Angie Michael Agasha Gomaloka Gomangi, we share in your plight. Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Nathaniel and your guests in the studio. Nigerians should start taking legal action against JED for their actions or inactions, since they cannot give good reasons for the constant power failure in some parts of the country, as collecting money for bills and disconnecting people for not paying their bills alone is not good enough. They should please sit up. Vincent Akko from Wadata. Vincent, thank you for your message. Those are the few we are able to take on this edition. But Engineer Obo, as a way of concluding, how effective are existing policies such as the National Integrated Power Project, and what urgent measures can be taken to restore our national grid once and for all, so we don't witness any collapse again?
Yeah, since 2005.
60 seconds, please.
Yeah, since 2005, when they launched the so-called Power Reform Act, up to this moment, there has been some kind of metamorphosis from one to the other. What I can say simply and in summary, that the policies are good. They are geared towards giving us the best. The problem in Nigeria is not about the policy, it's not about the laws, it's about the implementation. So we should be honest enough to do well and to do our best. And I think in the short time to come, things will improve. And I quickly want to say that all the areas we have touched, we couldn't touch as much as we could. But I want to say that let's come together. We are all stakeholders. Let's not be pointing fingers. The challenges that one is having that is affecting the other, maybe you will have the solution. As consumers, as producers, as distributors, as transmitters, as generators, we are all in the same market. And we need to come together, collaborate, and make things better. I think that is my final word for this.
Okay, Engineer Igurube, give us your concluding thoughts on what can be done to salvage the power sector.
Right, thank you very much.
30 seconds, if you may.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
I think government is trying in their own end by coming up with policy recently that this power sector can be diversified. So I want to call on private investors to look into this direction of investing in power. If for instance, a state, somebody can wake up, invest in power and supply a whole state or a part of the state, I think it will go a long way. By the time we have one or two of such private investors, most of these issues will solve. Talk about this, our communication, for instance. The area of communication, since this private sector came in, Glo, MTN, and all of that, an issue of NITE I've long forgotten.
All right.
So the overdependence of government sometimes is not helping us.
So more private hands should get involved.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Iyenge, yes. Manufacturers, with the realities, what can be done to stabilize production and also get the consumers of your products not necessarily burdened with high prices?
They should secure the national grid so that there is no collapse. Community policing, civil defense. Maybe you post between or to go from the power generation to another point. You put civil defense there to guide the lines. So the security aspect of it would have been done. And then they improve on the distribution. And then the cost effects of that. Otherwise, the government policies should be improved in terms of taxing. The tariffs are too much. If there is a subsidy on electricity, I think some of these issues, the cost of production and the economic effect will be. But now you've removed subsidy on fuel, and then there's an increase in tariffs on electricity. the cost of living and the cost of production, the economy of this session is getting to a lower level, near collapse.
I hope when the subsidy on electricity is implemented, TCN, are you looking in that direction to get NEC and government authorities to implement the subsidy? That's enough for you to answer today anyway. All right, Engineer Julius Obo is a principal manager, Independent Systems Operations Transmission Company of Nigeria, former chairman, Nigerian Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, Benue State Chapter. Kuma Ayi Yenge is a former president, Benue Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture. And he is also a member of the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. Engineer Matthew Egurube is a member of the Nigerian Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, Benue State Chapter. Gentlemen, I thank you very sincerely for your valuable insights on this edition of Perspectives. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure.
All right. That's our program today, dear listener. Join us on Wednesday for a fresh edition. I am Nathaniel Nangu. Have yourself a great week ahead. Goodbye.